But let's get into the international sport, and by far the biggest event that happened, or at least today in sports, was Super Bowl 60 between the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots. We both predicted that the Seahawks would win this, and my goodness, did they win this, winning 29-13.
This was very much a battle of the defenses.
Yep.
The first half was a lot more tight, but however, the Seahawks still had, I think, a 9-0 lead at halftime.
Yep.
They looked very, very good. The New England defense was holding up very well as well. Both Sam Darnold and Drake May weren't able to get much up the field in that first half, but then Bad Bunny came on. Absolutely had a great show, and the second half was much, much better for the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
Seattle ran in 17 points in the fourth quarter, already 12-0 up, although New England did run in 13 of their own.
Yep.
In terms of individual quarterback stats, Drake May went 27 for 43 for completions, passing for 295 yards, 2 touchdowns, but threw 2 interceptions, and was sacked 7 times, equaling the Super Bowl record held by Roger Staubach in Super Bowl 10. So that was, 50 Super Bowls ago?
Yep, and that was against my Steelers as well.
Of course it was. And Joe Burrow a few years ago.
Yes.
Sam Darnold, a lot tamer, went 19 for 38, 202 yards, and a touchdown.
But I told you, he did what he needed to do.
Yeah.
And most people thought Sam Darnold couldn't do that. So, like I said, that was a story. Good frickin' on.
And he becomes the first quarterback from the class of 2018 to win a Super Bowl, beating the likes of Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Rosen.
Yep.
So
if Josh Rosen comes back and wins the Super Bowl, that'd be golden.
That'll be Kurt Warner levels of comeback. You know?
True that, man.
But shout out to Seattle's running back, Kenneth Walker III, winning MVP.
And well deserved. I think he had the most rushing yards in the Super Bowl outside of Terrell Davis in the Super Bowl back in the 90s for the Broncos.
Wow.
So he was they were feeding him the ball.
They were feeding him the ball.
And man, and they had to. That's like I said, the Seattle Seahawks team is pretty much so similar to the teams from 2013 and 14 that went to those Super Bowls. Kenneth Walker was, although I don't think not as good yet, was the Marshawn Lynch of the team. And that, and Seattle, Seattle really, really relied on that. And it worked out every single time. Unfortunately, I hate saying this, but the way that Seattle Seahawks played is how I think the Steelers can play, but just don't.
No.
And I say that's probably biased. We've got a long way to go. Don't get me wrong, but that's how I want the Steelers to play football.
We're talking about the Super Bowl, and you still made it about the Steelers.
No, they have to be done. They have to be done. But can I just say, I know Kenneth Walker won MVP, and it was well deserved. But there is, to me, when it comes down to games that are defensive games, there is 2 guys that become MVPs. And there's the punter and the kicker.
Yeah, I think both of them.
And the Seahawks, I hate saying it because he is Australian.
You don't have to point it out.
No, I do, because then Americans are going to be like, oh, yeah, he's with us. No, he's not. He's Australian.
You don't know that.
No, I do know that. Come on. But Michael Dixon, the punter for the Seattle Seahawks, majorly impressive game.
Oh, yeah.
Majorly impressive game. Every kick he did was high enough so that his defense could get down to the returner, and man, did he get some kicks inside within the 5-yard line that put the Patriots back. And with that defense, that's going to work every single time. Michael Dixon, that's my MVP. That's my MVP. But also, Jacob Myers, I think, actually broke the record for most field goals in a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think I did read
I think it was
that.
5. I think it ended up being 5 at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, when it comes down to a defensive game, those are the guys that you wouldn't think about, but those are guys you rely on. And for the Seahawks, they did their job, and they did it very well.
And New Zealand won on the day as well. The 3rd New Zealand-born Super Bowl winner. I think this may have only came out today because ESPN had his place of birth is in California. But Seahawks running back and kickoff returner George Holani
was
born in Auckland and moved to California when he was in preschool,
Yep.
but he is the third Kiwi to win a Super Bowl. Ricky Ellison famously won 3 rings for the 49ers as a
Yep.
linebacker in the 80s. And Laken Vakalahi, he was born in New Zealand, but moved to Australia when he was a kid, played junior rugby league and
Okay.
basketball. Similar to Mailata, was discovered by an Eagle scout in Hawaii on holiday, or someone discovered him
Classic,
via that, and he got
classic.
sent to training for an NFL career, played 1 season for the Eagles in the year they won the Super Bowl.
There you go.
So, but was waived before this season. And also, Jordan Mailata, his mum was born here, and he did hold a Kiwi passport. So
I didn't know he held a Kiwi passport, but there you go.
he did at one stage. You could say it was lucky 4 for New Zealand's NFL players, but.
Yes.
Moving
yeah.
on, the awards for the NFL have also been
Yep.
decided. MVP was Matthew Stafford.
Well deserved.
Well deserved. Not super surprising. Drake May was just behind him.
Yeah. Literally one first place vote away.
Yeah, which is nuts.
That I'd say that looks bad now because man, that Seattle Seahawks defense put him to the sword. But for the season that he had, yeah, it was deserved.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Matt Stafford, I do think should have won, and he did.
Yeah. And I'm not going to pronounce the winner of the offensive player of the
I
year.
can.
No. I mean, I'm not going to pronounce it how like Drewski pronounced
Oh,
it.
that was
or else
bad.
I'd get
That was
cancelled.
bad.
So I thought you were about to repeat it.
No,
Don't you dare.
of course not.
Jackson Smith and Jigba
There you go.
won offensive player of the year. Didn't do too much in the Super Bowl for Seattle, but he's been excellent all season.
Yeah.
Defensive player of the year was Myles Garrett. It had to be.
He broke the sack record. What
One
you
of,
gonna
if
do?
not the best defensive players of all time. Obviously, he's got the knock on the door of, what's his name? The guy, Giants?
Oh, Lawrence Taylor.
Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah. Maybe if Myles Garrett would move on from the Browns and win something, then maybe.
But he did commit to the
we'd have
Browns.
that
So,
conversation, so.
and a really cool former Arizona wide receiver, Tetaroa McMillan, is
Yes,
one
sir.
offensive rookie of the year. I remember he was tearing it up in college ball. I was like, oh, he's got a Polynesian name. Hopefully he gets to the league, and he did. And look at him now.
Big
And then,
facts.
Cousin
Schwishinger.
Schwishinger, defensive rookie of the year.
Yep, for the Browns.
Protector of the year. Didn't know this was an award.
It's the first time it's ever been given out. And
so-
I'm glad they finally have an award for the O lineman.
So it's for the O-lineman, and it's gone
Yeah.
to Joe Tunney.
Yep, Joe Tooney.
Is it Tooney?
Yeah, Joe Tooney,
Tooney.
of the Chicago Bears.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, makes sense. And Mike Vrabel, who we talked about last week, Coach of the Year. And unrelated, but announced at the same time, the Hall of Fame class for this year has been announced, and it is one of the most loaded ones we've had in a very long time.
But there is one name missing that we've talked about before.
Last week.
Bill Belichick should be there.
He wasn't.
But you've got Luke Kuechly, who becomes the second youngest Hall of Famer ever.
Yeah.
You've got Drew Brees, well deserved.
Yep.
Larry Fitzgerald, well deserved. Roger Craig, who was a running back for the 49ers back in their dynasty in the 80s and 90s. Surprised he wasn't there already because he kind of revolutionized playing the running back. It's kind of what it is now with the pass catching out of the backfield and stuff. And also probably the greatest kicker of all time, Mr. Adam Vinatieri.
Yeah.
Was going into the Hall of Fame class of 2026.
Solid.
But I honestly, I can't really argue with any of those.
No.
With any of those awards there. I think they actually got them pretty spot on.
I think Phillip Rivers would have been in this, but he decided to come back. So
True. And also, they did have Comeback Player of the Year, which I forgot to put on here, which was Christian McCaffrey.
Yep.
That is absolutely fair enough.
Absolutely
as
well deserved.
Yeah.
As we move on, the NFL is done till, well, not really done. We've got the draft in April. We'll cover it. It'll be interesting to see.
And guess what city is hosting it?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, baby.
So we'll see what happens. And then obviously season starts up around September, October.
Yep.
And they did announce next year the NFL is definitely going to Melbourne, and it's going to be Rams 49ers.
Yep.
So what a
That'll
game.
actually be a solid game.
Solid game.
If both those teams are healthy.